Hey guys, on today's episode, we find out how a car crash and a Where's Waldo shirt can actually allow somebody else to be seen. What do I mean? Check out the episode.
Boy, are we going. Well, guys, welcome back to EDAB. Oh, every day's a bonus. That's the letters. EDAB.
So it's an acronym.
Every day, that's something. It's an A&M. It's a synonym, an acronym, an alliteration, an automatopoeia, a word that sounds like it's spelled like pop and buzz. Welcome to English class. We're glad you guys are here with us. This is Logan.
They're spelled so they sound
this
like
is Ken.
Did you know that race car backwards is race car?
Yes, it is.
We
And
can
that
play
is
this game all day.
Automatopoeia.
That's all I got.
That's good. That's
Bob.
good. Right.
But we digress.
I digress. This is Logan.
Bob.
This is Ken, and I'm Brent. Glad you guys are joining us here. We're just three guys that, man, we love to encourage each other, but even more than that, which is big, we love to encourage you guys out there. So if you are watching or listening, we are glad you are along for the ride. We get the opportunity, I call it, the blessing, to sit down, chat about life, things we've learned, stories we've heard, and things that have impacted our lives. And our prayer is that, man, you'll grab hold of something. There's going to be something that has sustenance, right? That you're just going to grab and say, I'm going to try that today, right? So that's our plan for this, right? And so here we've got a gentleman like Logan who's clean and crisp. Look at this greenish olive colored pants and his tan shirt.
From the first episode
elastic.
he joined until now, this is like Trent. Did you do a makeover or something?
I'm just.
There's no hat. His hair's combed.
weight
He's
loss.
got
You've lost weight. You've lost clothing.
Ruptured a disc in my spine.
Wow.
Just all of it.
Got extra juice in that spine now, right? You got a shot in your back.
Yeah.
This guy's had quite the week.
Awesome.
You were supposed to go on a mission trip, and unfortunately your wife and you could not go, but a blessing. So we'll get to hear about that, right?
Psalm 23:2 hits different for me now.
Say it to us so that we know what it is.
He makes me lie down in green pastures.
You were forced to do it, huh?
And I couldn't walk for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
And was in immense pain. And that verse kept coming to my mind. And that one verse really ministered to me. I was like, okay, God, I will sit in this rest you are requiring of me.
I hear you.
Right
I hear
now.
you.
How can I make the most of this?
Yeah, you were running and gunning, and now you just had to rest for a bit. So speaking of
made me lie down.
Well, speaking of running and gunning, this is Ken over here. He's a comedian, a seasoned professional in the comedy world. And not only that, a stand-in for Waldo often. Is that right? Because there was a book years ago.
If you're on audio, you're confused. It's Ken's shirt.
So Ken has a shirt on right now, red and white striped. And a book from years ago was called Where's Waldo? And you'd have a plethora of people as you're opening these books. And inside of this whole maze of people, there was one tiny little man named Waldo that had on glasses and a red and white striped hat and a red and white striped shirt. And you had to find him. That was the goal. Find Waldo.
If
and
someone doesn't
Ken looks
know
like that.
Waldo, they're really missing out on life.
I know. Guys, go
I
find a book.
I love those books growing up.
Get on Amazon, go to a bookstore, go to eBay. I don't know. Get a Where's Waldo book, right? So Ken,
those are fun.
Have you had that comment before? I'm assuming. When you wear the shirt?
This is the new chic modern version of Where's Waldo.
Whoa,
actually,
high end.
Yes, the high end
Ken's
version.
young compared to Waldo.
That's a good point.
You know you're getting older. Let me just say, because that's another part I love about this is that we've got different decades. You're the 30, you're the 40, I'm the other. When you start making references to pieces from your childhood or your adolescence or whatever, and people younger than you go, what's that?
Yes.
That means that you are progressing.
Yeah.
Hey, listen,
So the Where's Waldo is one of
this
those.
just happened yesterday. We were filming our YouTube video, Westridge Kids, and Skylar back there was with us, and they have this Nintendo Switch 2, right? The second Switch 2. And they were like, hey, look, it's got all the old original classic games. And the first one that popped up was Super Nintendo. And they're like, see, remember the original? I'm like, that's not the original. The original was the NES, the Nintendo Entertainment. I'm like, where's Super Mario 1 and Super Mario 2 and 3? And they're like, oh, it doesn't have that. I'm like, Super Nintendo, that's dating them on the old classics. I'm like, man, that just literally happened yesterday. And you feel like the oldest person in the room. But fortunately, right now, I'm not the oldest person in the room because our friend Ken is with us, which we love.
I love the shirt idea because it is. If you look at the little logo, I don't know if you can see this.
Describe it
it's
to them.
It's this really cool script P in a circle.
P in a circle. Hadn't heard that on this podcast before.
It is not.
P in a circle.
It's not in yellow.
Try to aim for one spot.
I use the toilet instead of the urinal. There's more space to aim. So tell us about peeing in a circle, Ken.
It's a logo.
3 or 4 times a night. I get it.
And the more you do it, the better you get at it.
Yeah,
Right?
circle maker. We get it. We've read Mark Batterson. The circle maker. What did he really mean?
That's what Mark
Batterson was going for.
That's right. So tell us about the P in the circle.
I don't know that I can bring it all back from that.
Bring it back.
But no, it's a cool shirt. So the short, long version of the story is kind of what the podcast is about. And that's simply that we love to be here and encourage each other and invite you in to be encouraged. And that's when people ask me anymore, what do you do? I'm like, right. I encourage people. That's what I do.
I like that.
Because I go across the board, but I love the feedback we've gotten from people that are like, hey, and this is a real life example of encouragement. And because I think everybody wants to be encouraged. Everybody has that moment where they're like, man, I'm either physically or emotionally or relationally or vocationally, they're down. Mm-hmm. And they just want to be encouraged. Mm-hmm. And maybe not even down, but they have this idea, but nobody knows about it. Nobody hears about it. Nobody supports it. And that's what this shirt was. So one of our neighbors, former neighbors, his name's Buddy. And Buddy is now a very sick... He's an elf, and he has a movie.
I love that guy. Cotton balls and all. We were just talking about it.
This Buddy is actually in New York as well now. He's a financial... I know, but
7
he's not
layers of candy cane forest.
There it
Lincoln
is.
Tunnel. I get it.
He knows what all those things are.
I love him.
But Buddy is Buddy Patel is his name. And I've known him since he was like 8 years old. He's next door. He played with my boys and they were just big buddies and all through life they went there. Well, he's now a very high-end financial advisor in New York City.
Okay.
So he does really, really well.
Cool.
But he came home one time, he's visiting his parents and my boys were looking at, oh man, that's the coolest thing. I'm like, what? And they show me some of these golf shirts. I'm like, those are really kind of cool. And there's this whole variety of them. And I see him and Buddy's like, hey, Mr. Ken. I'm like, dude, did you make these? And he goes, well, I designed them. And I know it's weird, but I love to design shirts. Oh. And he's a brilliant financial guy. And I'm like, well, I want one. And he's like, really? And I'm like, yes. And so we played in this golf tournament and he got all 4 of us one of these shirts and we're wearing them.
Cool.
And I could just see him light up that this isn't his main thing, but he loves to do it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, I love this shirt. And it is. It's super comfortable. It's kind
impressive.
If Where's Waldo was on GQ, this is what he would be wearing, you know?
That's
so
super cool.
So I love that idea, not only about the podcast, but just in everyday life.
Yeah.
And you do that every week in your job and you do that kind of as a communicator, but I love the life side of that. And I think people are just dying to be encouraged.
Yep.
And just to go, hey, tell me about whatever, or you notice something and then it's there. So I think people are craving that. And I think that's why a lot of people have gravitated to this podcast is like, okay, every week I feel better about something or I have a new idea about something.
Hopefully that's very, very true. I think we're all just hopefully children of learning, right? We're learning our entire life. We're reading books and watching podcasts and listening to podcasts and hearing from others. I'm always encouraged by, there should always be somebody in your life, you know, that is a mentor to you, right? Speaking into you. And then there should be somebody that you should be finding to speak into yourself. Because I'm telling you, you think I want somebody to speak into my life so I can learn and I can grow. You learn and grow just as much speaking into somebody else's life,
Absolutely.
right? It's that whole, what's that phrase of like, if you want to learn something, teach it kind of an idea.
Oh,
like,
heck yeah.
You do deep dives into things, right?
Yep.
But I think finding that young man who's a big financial advisor and now shirt designer, probably looks up to you in a way. I mean, if Buddy was hanging out with your boys, right, and now here you are seeing him in his environment and playing golf, that probably encouraged him for you just to say, I love those shirts, man. That's super cool.
And not only that, but this is a great example of that. So he has done very, very well.
Yeah.
And financially, a lot of people that do well, they buy stuff and they do trips and they do this. Well, Buddy, he loves to encourage others. So a couple times a year, he invites 20 to 30 friends. He rents like a lake house or a beach property or whatever, and invites and often flies down all these people and just go, I just want to give you a weekend to have fun.
What is a Buddy's number?
I want to be
an invitee.
Buddy's friend.
What's your favorite color?
And these are all people that he's just kind of grown up with and that have encouraged him and been his friend over. He's like, okay, now that I got means, I want to do this.
Yeah,
so my boys are literally going to do something. And I said, so what do you guys do there? And he goes, it's always something fun and different. He says, last time I actually called the police because we're having a lot of fun. And he said, no, we weren't doing anything wrong. We're just loud.
Yeah.
So he's so sensitive. He's like, well, this time I have never heard of this until I saw it on a cruise. We're doing a silent disco.
Oh,
and I'm like,
so fun.
What is a silent disco? Well, it's a party.
But nobody hears.
Everybody has earphones and everybody hears the same thing. But if you
want to
walk
do one of those. I hear those are really
incredible.
fun.
People are going nuts and dancing and everything. There's
You've done
no
one, right?
sound.
Yeah, we did it on a cruise, and then we did it again on Rush, the second one. And
so
the
cool.
best is when you take your earphones off and you just watch everybody singing, tone deaf people and good singers, and it's like silent in there. There's no music except for voices.
Yeah.
And you put it back on, you're like, oh, I get it. Yeah. And you can switch to usually different songs of whatever the different DJs are doing. It really is incredible.
super
Yeah.
cool.
So I'm encouraged by
But
that.
see, I mean, that to me is saying, okay, I want to be sensitive to others around me.
Sure.
Yeah.
And it's okay. I want to be the opposite of a Karen, basically.
Yeah.
I want to be
wanna be a
sensitive.
Ken.
Yeah. I want to be a Ken.
Oh, I love
Karen
it.
and
Hey,
Ken.
I love that.
Well,
That's
and there's
okay.
opportunities, especially if we're looking for them, if we open, that filter, like we're looking for opportunities to encourage others. I saw this cool quote the other day. John Gordon, author, was referencing a study that has been done. And on average, the average person will influence 80,000 people over the course of their life.
Wow.
And so imagine you've got all 80,000 people that you influenced over the course of your life, all in a stadium. And
that could be influenced good or bad, right?
And that's what I was about to say.
Okay.
And you're there, and the people you've influenced over the course of your life, and that's not every interaction. Not every interaction has an influence. There's way more there, but people that we can influence positively or negatively, what is that going to look like at the end of my life?
That's good.
Am I going to have a stadium full of people that I positively influenced, or a stadium primarily full of people that I
booing
that I
really
negatively impacted? And just yesterday, I was on my way home from here. This is my office, and so I'm on my way, not this room, but right down the hall. But I'm on my way home from here, and I was in a wreck, in a fender bender. And
Wait, this was yesterday?
Yesterday,
You didn't tell us this?
No, I was in a wreck yesterday. And the girl gets out of the car, and I hit the back of her car. She's upset. She had just hit. It was turning right onto a road, so she had just hit the car in front of her. And
She decided, I want you to feel the same experience.
Let me just add to this. As I saw her start going, I did the classic. She started going, so I'm looking left because it's my turn to start easing up, and I hit her.
Don't do that, drivers.
Well, she did no damage to the car in front of her, so that lady leaves, but she's so upset. She's looking at her bumper, and she's crying, and she's going, my dad's going to be so upset. He's going to kill me, da-da-da. And I just knew this girl needs some encouragement. Like, I'm, of course, bummed that I hit her with my car. I love my car, and now it's beat up, and I'm bummed. And she just needed to be loved on and encouraged, so I'm calming her down. Let's pull up here. Let's exchange information. Everything's okay. And I'm just talking her through it. And I just felt the Lord prompting me, ask her questions about her life. And she had a BrandsMart t-shirt on. I said, do you work at BrandsMart? She's like, yeah. And I said, how is work today? And we were done exchanging information. And she looked at me, and her shoulders drooped, and she just burst into tears. And I said, what's going on? She tells me about just some problems at work. And I said, is life hard right now? She said, yeah. And I just didn't plan on getting in a wreck today. And I said, oh, and she's,
I don't know those people that do plan that.
She's late teens, early 20s. This is probably her first wreck. And I said, no one ever plans for that. I said, I'm sensing that you just feel like you're carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. You're so overwhelmed with life. And she's just crying and agreeing. And I'm praying in my head, of course, in this moment, like, God, what do you want me to ask her? What do you want me to say? And I felt like she just needed to be ministered to and
just you listening
and loved on, and talked to her about Jesus and my walk with him, and asked if I could pray with her. And she goes, I feel so much better now. Thank you. And it was just, and so I got in my car and I said, okay, God, I do not want to thank you for this car wreck. I am so stressed out about, I got to pay for that. I got to pay for my car.
Deductible.
All the implications. Mallory was just in a wreck a month ago. We just got done with that. It's just so many things.
Did she plan on that?
No, we hit a deer.
No. The deer hit you.
The deer did like he like lined
he was like, you wait, buckaroo.
I was like, what are you doing, bro? But anyways, it was an opportunity. I could have reacted or I could have responded. And I'm so grateful that I didn't react selfishly, mad about my car, didn't care about this young lady who was visibly shaken, emotional. And it was just, I was telling my parents about it on the way home, was telling them, and my mom just said, when your girls are teenagers and young 20-somethings, they're going to be in a wreck one day, son. And you treated that young woman the way you're going to hope someone's going to treat your girls.
That's so great.
When they get in a wreck. And it was an opportunity to help someone be seen and love on them and encourage them in a situation I did not want to be in.
Yeah.
Good for you for being
but why not make the best?
That.
And then I got in the car and was like, man, this sucks.
I just love that phrase you just said. You said, and she just appreciated that she was seen. Yeah. So I want to sit on that for our last few minutes together. Like, imagine how many people in this world are going through anxiety, or it could be doubt, or a horrible day of the world. It just feels like it's sitting on their shoulders so hard. And they just want someone to notice, because you can easily go to work at Brand Smart USA or wherever else it is, go about your business, and nobody really cares because they've got their own business.
And they might interact with you and not even see
absolutely.
you.
They might not even notice. But isn't that interesting that people just crave being seen? And so if I'm pointing to everyone here at the camera, if you're listening, if we could learn to just see people and hear, right, notice what's going through. But if even we forget or we don't get an opportunity, I was reminded of a verse, and I should have looked this up while you were talking, but it's in
have it all memorized?
Psalm 139. I have only 65 of the 66 books memorized. All right, so this one. So in here, David is just praying. He's worshiping. You can tell he's praising. But one of the things David, a man after God's own heart, says back to God is, "You have searched me, Lord, and you know me." I mean, that's Psalm 139:1. You know when I sit, when I rise. You perceive my thoughts. You discern my comings, my goings when I lay down. You're familiar with my ways. I mean, just the fact that we could be Jesus to this world by seeing them, but also we can encourage ourselves by God's actual words to us saying, hey, I see you. Yeah. No matter if nobody else does, I see you and I know what you're going through. And Jesus says it plainly. My burdens are light. And, cast them on me. We will carry those. We, God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit, we will carry those burdens and release you of those. And we have a hard time as humans doing that. Yeah. But in life, when we forget God's word and we forget that, I guess the prayer would be that we will run into somebody that's going to encourage us in our passion project with our shirts.
Run into them.
Or run into us from the back bumper or whatever that looks
you
like.
You need love.
This is what you need.
I love you so much.
So don't go crash into people right now. If you're, hopefully you're not watching YouTube while you're driving, you're listening to that part. But if you take something away from this as we're,
I think just the fact that in that moment you were sensitive enough, because I think we are allowing God do that through us when we choose to not react but respond.
That's right.
That's huge. When you're saying that, I'm like, goodness, this must be something that happens regularly. My second son, Cody, he's driving, and it was the same type situation. They didn't come up to speed. He just looked over, and she had started to go, and he just kind of started to roll forward when she stopped, and it was just a boom. I mean, it wasn't a big deal,
Right.
But they get out of their cars, and he's like, I just nailed a brand new Mercedes. And he's lamenting what's going to happen.
Mercedes is what he hit.
Yeah. And he's just
Was it an S class or an E class? We don't know.
He said, the lady gets out of the car and he's like, I was just so proud of her. I deserve whatever I get. And she walks back and she's shaking her head. And he's like, listen, just totally diffused. He's like, that's completely my fault. Here's my insurance. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry that I even have put you in this situation. And she looks, she goes, well, there's no damage. And then she starts getting misty eyed and goes, literally, no, I'm going to do whatever you want to do. And she's just like, okay. And he said, I don't know why I did this. He says, an older woman. And he goes, do you need a hug?
Yes.
And she was like, yes.
Oh.
And he said, I just hugged her. And she's like, he just kind of melts into his shoulder. And he's like, bad day. And she goes, yes, this is not a big deal, but it's just that little tiny straw that broke the camel's back. And he was like, so he hugged, and she's like, you know what? That's what I needed today. And she starts smiling and goes, you don't worry about it. Thank you. We're going to go pass on joy today. And she just went from overwhelmed to okay.
Until people are driving by taking pictures of him. Your husband's hugging another woman out on the street right now. She's got a Mercedes. Take a picture, send to wife. Yeah. That's
crazy.
That's crazy. That's
crazy. He was sensing up in that moment, just like you were. I think that when we follow Christ, I think he does that to us.
And first of all, I love learning things myself here while we're doing this. I'll be honest, underneath everything, I'm learning something right here when we're supposed to see others, right, and notice them. First of all, we don't know what people are going through, right? They could be having the most difficult day or the most joy-filled day. We just don't know, right?
Yeah.
Second thing, I love that there might be a guy who is amazing financial analyst, person, whatever, but his passion project sounds like it's shirts. And so when you take an interest in something that they love, right?
Yes.
All of a sudden it's like, wow, they care not just about my job, not just about the latest stock prices of things and what's
what they
doing,
can get
right?
from you.
What's the Dow getting me?
Yeah,
it's
not
like,
just what you can do for me.
Yeah, they care about something that I love. And man, we know how good it feels when somebody asks us about something we love. I'm going to guess the lady at Brand Smart USA, she may or may not, but she might not love her job, but there's probably something she loves. And the second somebody stops to hear what that is and they actually inquire about that, they feel this like, wow. Somebody knows. Yeah, you're actually listening and you care. And if they're an amazing artist, but they're just trying to get by, you don't talk about the get by job, how horrible it is. You're like, man, tell me about that artist thing. I noticed that, and I'd love to hear a little bit more about it. So, man, so many things today.
Way to bring it together, Brent.
Golly, it's just good stuff. So
it is.
I'm glad you guys hung out with us to do that. Well, hey, how about this?
Flew by.
I know it always does. It always does. But hey, guess what? We do this every single week. So join us. A brand new episode of EDAB drops every single week, and every day truly is a bonus. So we're blessed to be here. So we love hanging out with you guys, learning from each other. Teach us. Leave a comment below if you can. We love to hear things you guys are going through and help encourage you guys. So from us here, we're never promised today, but you know we are.
We're not promised today or tomorrow.
Or any
day.
day. But what we realize now is that
our next breath.
Every day's
a
bonus. Oh, great.
Peace.
He didn't get it right, but it's all right. He's got back problems and he just got into a wreck.